everyone. I'm Karen Kovacs. I'm a president of marketing and communications at NBCUniversal. So glad to be here. Hello, my people. It's no secret that advertisers are being tasked to do more with less. In our fragmented media landscape, reaching audiences is really no easy task. At NBC, we've been working tirelessly to reach audiences and engage consumers across all platforms. But impressions don't always equal impact. And our advertising partners are building a range of meaningful connections with audiences wherever they are consuming the content they love, including tapping the power of live experiential moments, just like today. As consumer appetite for experiential and in-person event is stronger than ever, and it's delivering on that unique fandom experience and cultivating community. Consumers find in-person events irreplaceable. 70% say events make them an even bigger fan. So to capitalize on that cultural behavior, NBCU is reaching audiences through experiential moments, through the Today Plaza, through Premier League Fan Fest, and now, of course, BravoCon. The Bravo fandom is unmatched, and the hype for live Bravo moments are real. It's
next level,
it's next level. So in partnership for our advertisers, we're elevating the entire event for consumers, and we're taking the stories the fans know and love, and we're bringing it to life in Las Vegas. We have one of our sponsors for this year's events, Chante Waters from Unilever, and she's here to help us talk today about the importance of brand storytelling and building relevance that drives ROI. And along with Chante, we have a Bravo star at Tech Futures, the multi-hyphenate creator and star of Summer House, Ciara Miller. Thank you so much for joining us today. First, I'm going to start with Chante. You oversee media strategy, partnerships, and measurement for Unilever's quite robust beauty and well-being business. So how have you been tasked to reach and engage audiences across this fragmented landscape?
Yeah. So I'd say one of the most interesting dynamics within my role is that you typically don't bridge partnerships and elements that really focus on brand equity with measurement, right? There's very much often at odds in terms of how you build thoughtful media campaigns and marketing plans. But within my role, one of the most important things is to make sure that we're the central source of accountability for the next best dollar invested, period, right? So it's no longer a conversation of what is the trade-off of investing in this event versus something that may be more of a hard-hitting performance tactic. It's how does all of that work together to drive our brands? And that's been something that's been quite exciting. When we're thinking about transitioning and moving from looking at just reach and just trying to get eyeballs, that's really been the game changer for us and how we've ultimately partnered, right? So when you think about programs and how we've structured and curated what we're doing for BravoCon, it's quite unique in that it taps into fandom. And I know you said that 70% of folks are really engaged in whatever excites them. 60% of audiences also see fandom as part of their identity. It's who they are. Yes. You identify in a certain way, whether it's music, whether it's what shows you watch, what you experience, that creates who you are. And the ability for our brands to sit in that, right, and understand the fandom and start to build the lore with them has been incredibly exciting. And it actually drives impact, which is something that feels like it may not be a direct connection, but we've undeniably seen that partnerships like BravoCon are a game changer for us.
How do you think about the individual brands? I mean, you know, BravoCon is, you know, one big event, but you have very distinct brands and distinct consumers that are going to show up there. How do you think a little bit about that?
So it's a balance. Within our beauty and well-being portfolio, we have 5 beautiful brands that span the hair care and skincare category. What's really quite important for us is to first ensure that our organizational structure, how we work, how we talk, gives those brands a spotlight to be able to live and breathe in a way that makes sense for them. The way that I'm developing or looking at partnerships for Shea Moisture is very different than how I'm gonna develop a campaign for Dove, and that's something that we wanna make sure that we create space for. But there are moments and there's certain partners that we know deliver the scale that can dimensionalize across all of our different brand audiences. And that's probably the most exciting piece about how we were able to come up with our program. But we looked at your basic view of how is the reach against our different audiences? Does that make sense? But the real change in how we're thinking about it is being very pointed and being commerce forward, right? In the way that we're also able to demonstrate to our customers that the value of a beauty consumer that is also a Summer House fan, right, is 2-3 times stronger than if we were just to speak to them as a beauty consumer and just talk about our brands, which has been wonderful.
Well, I want to bring you and Ciara into the conversation because we're talking about brands and Bravo, and you have become such a fan favorite across the Bravoverse, from Summer House to your incredible presence on social media, to your time on Peacock's The Traders, right? You've built a tremendous following and really an authentic personal brand. How do you think about building your brand and who you partner with?
Yeah, I feel like I try to just stay true to who I am. I feel like that's the best tactic that I have. People are genuinely, I just feel like I'm on TV, people are genuinely interested in like what I'm already naturally doing. And so I feel like when it comes to like brand alignment, like I'm working with brands that I use in my everyday, and I feel like that authenticity obviously reads, and it makes for an easier partnership because it's like I either know the products or I'm really excited about the new products that they have coming out, and like I can really speak to this brand, and like I feel like that builds like a trust and rapport with the brand itself, but then also my audience. And I just try to stay away from things that I genuinely am not interested in, and I feel like the alignment happens so naturally. And I feel like as I'm like living my life out on TV and like all the glam, the hair, the makeup, everything, it's just, you know, it's all very natural.
Well, you're teaming up with Unilever's Shea Moisture, and you're teaming up to help us tell the story of the road to BravoCon. So what is it about this partnership that spoke to you and why it's such a good fit?
I feel like hair is like 98.7% of all my thoughts at all time. And so because like, but I've also been using Shea Moisture probably since they first came out. So like, it's something that I'm very familiar with the product line. I've probably used every single thing in their product line. And I remember just being in high school and not being able to afford like hair care, but my mom's like, I'm not buying you this. And I'd be like, okay, that's fine, I got it. And so I just felt like it was so natural to work with Shea Moisture. And yeah, leading up to BravoCon, you are discussing hairstyles, hair products, outfits, like so much time, money, and thought goes into the glam of it all. And so Shea Moisture being a part of it just makes sense because it does go into like my natural hair, but also as well as like my extensions that I'm gonna wear. I feel like they have such a versatile product line that one, I genuinely use them, and two, I've been a fan of them since they've come out or since I've been familiar with them in high school, middle school. And yeah, it just makes sense.
Well, we're here really to understand how this fandom comes to life in this kind of a setting. So we're about 1 month out from BravoCon. So I'd love to hear from you both how you're feeling. So Ciara, what can fans expect, and how do you prepare yourself and your brand as to how you show up at an event like BravoCon?
Okay, what can they expect? It's a crazy weekend. It is. I honestly think I underestimate just how much people really love Bravo. And so sometimes each year I feel like it's like a wake-up call of like, oh my God, people really love these shows. They really love us. I think I'm with myself every day. I'm like, sometimes it's great, sometimes it's not, but people really relate to us and they see themselves in us and they want to like know everything that they're doing. So the interest is always just, honestly, it's an honor. But the BravoCon weekend is crazy. From the parties at night to the Watch What Happens lives, there's so much energy in the room, and it is an experience of a lifetime. And we're how many days out?
It's about a month.
About a month. I'm still getting my outfits and everything together.
There'll be about how many outfit changes a day?
It's a lot of, it's like almost 3, maybe 4 outfit changes a day. It's like changing hair, makeup, glam. You always want to like present a new look. And I feel like, some of the younger cast, like Summer House, like we're standing next to housewives who are so like va-va-voom and everything that they do. So like we have to compete just a little bit when we show up. But it's definitely, and in terms of the brand side, like I'm definitely always brainstorming, like me and my team, like we talk about like, okay, what are some brands that I'm already naturally using? And, a ton of Unilever products are always in that, whether it be Tresemme, Shea Moisture. And so it's like, okay, how can we integrate some of these products into the content that I'm already going to make that makes that makes sense for the weekend? And whether it be clothing brands or beauty brands are obviously like a great weekend for BravoCon. So it's just making sure that I'm incorporating this stuff into the type of content that I'm making, whether it be like a get ready with me or like, let's do a sneak peek of this Watch What Happens live look, and then taking people along for the ride on that weekend, because it's a crazy weekend.
Well, Chante, you bring the whole other side of the business to life at BravoCon. So how are you sort of tapping into this fandom and, really using the IP and the experience to create and solidify your partnership with the fans?
So I'd say right now we're starting to build momentum leading in, right? So it's the road to BravoCon. It's when folks are really starting to get excited. They're planning their outfits, maybe not for a day, but it's so perfectly placed in Vegas because it feels like a place of gathering. It's a place of escape. It's a time where you kind of gather everybody that is obsessed with the same show as you, and you get to spend time together, and you get to figure out what is going to happen on that stage that may feel new or connect to what the next season of your favorite show is. So that's personally really exciting. From a Unilever perspective, in terms of what we're doing with the brand, we're making sure that we're super intentional with building in that fandom. Yeah. So we have a portfolio campaign that looks across all 5 of our brands. It taps into a little bit of the energy of getting ready for BravoCon. It taps into the space of beauty and understanding, okay, what do I need to make sure that my hair and skin are absolutely impeccable in potentially conditions that you're not used to? And then from there, we want to make sure that we break it apart and we're really serving our brands individually. So whether it's Get Ready With Me is when we're talking with Shea Moisture, and like how do you really ensure that you're talking about a hero product, a SKU that's been around for 20 years, feels new, feels relevant, feels like it's something that people still really want to engage in. And then ultimately what I'm really excited about, again, I've been to BravoCon, the fandom is unreal. I was standing next to somebody that saw one of their favorite celebs and screamed, and I thought something had happened, and I was nervous. They were just so excited to be in the same room with somebody that they get a glimpse into their life, right? So how do we show up as a brand? We make sure that we are super thoughtful and curated in our brand experience. So when you come in and you immerse yourself in our brands, it's not just about here's a brand, but rather it's how do you connect to their overall experience. And we have a really exciting collab. I wish I could mention it, but it's one that's launching at BravoCon just to make sure that we're bringing everything together.
Well, I know, I can't wait.
I'm like,
I know,
what
I
is
wish
it?
I
I
could-
want the inside
I
info.
know, I wish.
You can't spill the tea tonight. Soon.
Yes.
Well, I do want to talk a little bit about our partnership. So NBCUniversal and Unilever have had a very long-standing and unique partnership, and leaning in not just to Bravo, but really across our whole portfolio. So will you share a little bit about our partnership and about how we bring the NBCU brand, our partnership, the Bravo fandom, and this live event? I mean, you guys went all in. So talk a little bit about how do we get here?
So overall, our partnership for me is incredibly unique in that we sit in each other's problems and we build together, right? So we will come with a glimmer of an idea. We had built BravoCon over the course of the past few years from a very small experiential moment for our brands, and then we said, we feel like we can do more, right? There's a huge opportunity for us to connect the energy around BravoCon across the nation for folks that can't make it to Vegas, and we can do that through our retail partners. And then we figured out and tinkered with what this concept is along the way, and we tap kind of the strengths of both sides. So that's been really incredible. I would say NBCU overall has such an incredible slate from sports to entertainment to reality that it's quite easy for us to find the right ways to partner. But when you have that, there's such a strong depth that you kind of have to sit and be intentional. So that's probably one of the biggest elements in terms of what we've done is we built this program over the course of, call it 18 months. Yeah. We're really mindful from the onset of what's going to be the impact. What are we going to be proud of at the end of the day? And that kind of guides us through creating something that is truly like a once-in-a-decade type program.
It was really special. You brought us in deep to where you're going, right? So it really enabled us to have a true collaboration. So we really appreciate that. Well, before we wrap, we have a few minutes, and I just want to do a quick lightning round about Bravo. So what are you each most excited about at BravoCon personally? I know you're excited about your activations.
Outfits and glam. Honestly, glam is my favorite thing to do. I love the creativity behind it, coming up with new looks, looking different, trying new things. So great. But I also love seeing what other people do as well, because that's like, you can pull inspo.
Yeah, the fans take it up a notch too.
Yeah, they do. They really do.
What about you, Chante?
I would say watch what happens live. It's an incredible moment. Like there's so many Bravo Lebs that are on the stage at one time. It's the highlight for me every single BravoCon.
I love that. What is your favorite show?
It is Summer House.
Oh. Yes.
What about you?
My favorite Bravo show, I honestly don't watch Summer House, but probably Potomac or Atlanta. I feel like I'm an OG, Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Who is the last Bravo celebrity you spoke with?
Probably Amanda. Yeah.
Nice.
Or Paige, yeah. Actually, probably Paige, because, yeah.
Okay.
Like, Daphne launched this morning.
Nice. And who is one Bravo celebrity you're each hoping to either meet or see that weekend?
Bozoma St. John for me. So obviously she's connected to marketing as an industry, so I've always known and heard about her, but she's also from Colorado. I'm from Colorado as well, so it's a little bit of joy to see somebody from your home state do such amazing things.
Okay, people always ask me this, and it used to be Garcelle, but now she's like not.
So you need a new wish list.
Yeah, I need a new wish list. But I do always enjoy seeing like the housewives, especially like Candy and Kenya. I feel like they're so iconic. But probably definitely Dolores. I love hanging with Dolores.
I love that they're all one names. For those of you who aren't huge Bravo fans,
Catania.
if you
What's her
know,
last
you
name?
know. Yes, exactly. Well, we have about a minute or two left, and Chante, I really appreciate all of that you shared today. And if we were going to leave the audience with some tangible advice, what are some takeaways? So for brands who are looking to go beyond just reaching audiences, how important is that brand storytelling and staying authentic to the brand and delivering that ROI?
So I think you have to respect your consumers, and you have to understand their fandom and understand what excites them. So the biggest thing I would take away is actually listening. I know it sounds incredibly simple, but from whether it's how we work with creators and understanding what works best for your audience better than we ever will, all the way to hearing and seeing how consumers talk about our brands and how we kind of enter and slowly start to evolve how we engage with spaces like BravoCon. I think that's probably the biggest opportunity for all brands. And then the smallest of PSAs is breaking down arbitrary silos in terms of investment or thinking or areas. And that has been a game changer in this partnership of pulling in our supply chain, which feels like it's very, very separate from marketing, but we're like, we have an incredible program. You're gonna need to actually change your demand for these products.
That's a great example, organizationally, but then also just bringing in all the touch points across the company. That's great. Well, Ciara and Chante, thank you so much for being here and being here today at Tech Futures. I can't wait to tell you how excited we are to see you and how we're bringing the partnership to life on the ground. And I hope to see some of you at BravoCon. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.